they will open up Gull Island in Alaska. My book, Energy and Crisis, is the only place on the face of the earth that statistics and details are given on this. Secondly, the fourth area will be the Arctic Wildlife Refuge. And whenever they open that, now, you say, we can't do that because the ecologists won't let us. Oh, yes, you will. By the time the ecologists don't have any food on their table, along with you not having food on your table, the dollar has collapsed, and the whole economy is in shambles, and the Federal Reserve has basically become a disgrace, and the Arabs have been swindled and stripped out of all of the money that they spent on T-bills and Federal Reserve notes all of these years. At that point, the economy will be in such a condition, even an ecologist and a Greenpeacer will be begging for these oil fields to be produced. And this is what I was given the other day by one of the elite, and the entire story of what their plans are. You watch it unfold. More and more disruption in the Middle East. All across America, you're going to see problems. Folks, this is coming to America. It's not just abroad.
Yes, Lindsey, I've got two quick questions, and then I want to go to the calls as we promised, and we'll obviously have to have you back up. But you were telling me that whenever you come on my show, it's like none other, that you've been contacted by hundreds of other radio hosts in the last day.
Alex, I think every radio talk show host in America listens to your show. And I'm going to go a little bit further. I have not been contacted by Fox News or any of the liberal media, but I think the liberal media is listening to your show every single day. Yesterday, I couldn't get away from my phone. Finally, last night when it got dark, it quit ringing. I think every talk show host in the country is saying, oh, my gracious, you appeared on Alex Jones' show. We want you on ours, too. Folks, listen to what Alex Jones says. He's been listening to by the whole nation because they know he's telling the truth.
Well, I wasn't even trying to toot my horn. I just wanted to point out that this is getting a lot of attention, and that's certainly positive, but it causes a catch-22. It'll be hard to get you back on. We need to probably pick an hour out next week to have you come back again because there's so much. You haven't even gotten into Ken Fromm and the speech he gave.
I still haven't told the story of Gull Island. I still haven't given what Ken Fromm told me that day. I still haven't told you how he was fired from Atlantic Richfield and then hired back. I haven't given the details of much of the North Slope of Alaska. I mean, this goes so deep. But yes, let's go on in whatever direction you'd like.
Well, just very briefly, because I promised.
Let me say one thing.
Yep.
Right now, right this second, while this program is going on, Providence, Rhode Island. The city of Providence is $40 million in deficit. Right this second, letters have been sent out this morning to every school teacher in Providence, Rhode Island, saying they're dismissed. Did you hear that? This morning, right now, while this program is going on, I got it just before the program this morning. Every school teacher in Providence, Rhode Island has sent a letter saying they're dismissed, and if they try to do what they did in Wisconsin, they plan to dismiss them, lower the cost of schools. And this is going, folks, this is going to spread all over America. Exactly what happened in the Middle East until the elite accomplish what they want in bringing in the New World Order. Yeah,
there's the article out of Providence, and what's the source on that, Jaron? You scroll down. That's out of the projo.com. That's the Providence Journal. Okay, got it. Thank you. Can't read it across the room. I need to put a bigger TV there. I got good eyes, but a little bitty monitor over there. I'm going to read from here. Thank you, guys.
And the Muslim Brotherhood is chatting. We have the video soundbite of this. Go to Israel and kill the Jews. Folks, this is going
and this is a revolution funded by the federal government, so they don't just destabilize the place. This is so the globalists have an excuse to blow the daylights out of the extremists when they get in power.
Yes, exactly. And every bit of this is planned. Folks, I gave this 4 months ago on Alex Jones' show that this Middle East crisis was going to develop.
No, Lindsey, you did. We've got to go to calls, and I've got to bring up these points, and then it's a catch-22 because people want to hear you, but then callers want to get on, and then I've got to have my questions here. But let's check the schedule. Lindsey, before your whole calendar gets filled, when could you come on next week for an hour?
Alex, for you, I'll come on anytime.
Jaron, what about Wednesday at 12:30? Well, what do we got on the board there? Let's just get this going right now, because obviously, because I've talked to Lindsey off air and he's got so much more information. I guess I could just not take the calls, but I promised to. Here's other 2 points. Here's Bloomberg. Sustained oil price gain may cause U.S. recession, Leahy says. That's Bloomberg. We never left the recession, Leahy, and you know it. So they're going to blame all this Arab stuff you see on the depression. And Lindsey said that 4 months ago. Here's another one. Where's my other report? I had one about T-bills not being bought. Here it is, just what you were saying earlier. Market Watch, just out literally 30 minutes ago. Treasury gives up gains after 5-year auction, and it goes on to report a massive number of the U.S. Treasuries were not bought and will be monetized by the Federal Reserve. So that's more printing of money. I mean, this thing is unraveling fast, Lindsey. Are you sure that people like Porter Stansberry aren't right, and it could happen at the end of this year or early next year? I mean, are you sure your elitist friend's right, that it's total implosion by the end of 2012?
I hope my elitist friends are correct, and it's the end of 2012, but I wouldn't bet on it. The way that you're seeing things happen, they may have they may have advanced their timeline. I have not been told that, but I'll say one thing, folks, you must get ready right now. You've got to make preparation. You need to get food in the house. You need to get out of paper. If it's written on paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You need to make preparations right now, even though I have been told by the end of 2012. Don't wait that long.
Well, if there was a 10% chance we were going to have Weimar-style inflation, I would get ready, and I have. And I did, years ago because of this. I mean, I've moved to the country. I got a well. I'm going on solar, and I'm getting ready. I mean, folks, we're freaked out. I believe everything I'm saying. But let's just hope by the providence of God, as Lindsey says, as Chaplain Williams says, that we can fix this. We're going to skip this break so I can get to all the calls. Network break. Station shouldn't play over this, but whatever. I'm just speechless at this point, and it just makes me sick. My last question, then we're going to calls for you, Lindsey. In your discussions with Mr. L, the living CEO, with him, did he say anything about Russia? Are they playing ball with the globalists, or is there real division there? Because we know that the globalists have been angry that they're producing so much oil and gas on record. Has that helped keep prices down? I mean, is Russia playing ball in all this? What's going on?
I really don't know exactly the inner workings of Russia. All I know that I was told to watch China. It's the big one, and China and Russia are the ones that we need to keep our eyes on. And because of the agreement that Russia made with China in supplying it with all of their crude oil, that means that whenever the Middle East stops supplying it to us, we will not get it from Russia. Right now, we're still getting some oil from Russia, very little. But we'll be getting even less then because they're going to supply for China. That leaves United States.
Well, they've announced they're going to sell less to Europe and natural gas because it's going to China and themselves. I mean, this is a recipe for massive price increases on top of dollar devaluation.
This natural gas supplied to Europe by Russia, this is drastic because they get cold winters over there. And now when Gaddafi cuts off all of the oil to Europe. Gaddafi's oil doesn't come to America.
Yeah, it mainly goes to Italy.
Goes to Europe.
Mainly goes to Italy.
Yeah, most of it to Italy. Can you imagine 1.6 million barrels being cut off tomorrow morning if they oust Gaddafi and he blows up their oil wells?
It's already being slowed. It just gets crazier by the minute. Medvedev, speaking of Russia, was in the AP yesterday saying that, I guess we're not going to skip this break. Let's kill this break, John. Yeah, I'm going to kill that break, network break. This is so important. But, I mean, there's Medvedev saying this could go on for decades in the Middle East.
Oh, yeah, this is just the beginning. What you saw in Egypt is only the tip of the iceberg. Now, of course, it's spread to Libya. And the other countries over there are scared to death. And we're our Sixth Fleet, I guess it is, which guards the Strait of Hormuz in that area. And Iran, all close to that. This whole thing is an upheaval.
All right, let's jam in some calls for this in the next 5-minute segment. Then Corbett's joining us for 2. We shortened him today, but he'll be back with us for a full hour, joining us from Japan in the near future. Let's go ahead and go to Ryan in New York. You're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I guess all right. I mean, at least we know what's going on, but I don't like it.
Doing a great job. I love the show. All right, my question for Lindsey, what were your thoughts or any chatter from your contacts on the Israeli oil that Stan Johnson talks about and how that might play into the overall Mideast larger picture, or is that still a wild card? And I'll take my answer off the air. Thanks.
Yeah, there's oil everywhere else over there. Why not in Israel?
I think there is oil in Israel.
Absolutely. So he's asking if you heard anything about that.
I have not, but I suspect, since it's so close to all the other countries that have it, I suspect that Israel probably already knows it's there.
Well, and Israel follows the Anglo-American system empire model, so if we've not been using our oil, I would guess they would keep it as a strategic backup as well. Makes sense. Charlie in North Carolina. Charlie, you're on the air.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. I have two questions. My first question is in regards to Mexico. I know you've said Mexico is just going crazy right now. And I'm wondering if that ties in with any of the stuff that's going on in the Middle East, or if that's a totally separate.
Well, the Middle East will exacerbate. The people live in tyranny in Mexico and in government-induced squalor. Lindsey, what's your take on that?
By the way, I can't hear your callers, so you'll have to repeat the question to me, Alex.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lindsey. He's asking how Mexico and the riots down there play into this.
Oh, it'll play into it perfectly. I think the entire drug cartel down there, they're just using it as an excuse because Mexico has so much oil. And they want disruption everywhere. They not only want it in the Middle East. They want it across America with our school teachers. They want every kind of civil unrest that they can get because this helps them to bring on that new world order. So, yes, that's just one little tip of it all in Mexico.
Notice it's all happening at once because the world reserve currency, the dollar, is dying and it's moving quicker. And so the globalists have been prepared for this. I had an article out of the Ottawa News today dealing with the foreign troops to be used in the U.S. and Canada. I mean, they're getting everybody ready, Lindsey.
Yeah, I warned people 3 years ago, Alex. You knew. I know. I produced 6 DVDs 2.5 years ago, and I warned people that I had been told that all this was coming. But people wouldn't believe me and go out and get food and take care of things. But, yes, they have been planning this for years.
In fact, I want to show people the article of their new listeners. It's Canada, U.S. agree to use each other's troops in civil emergencies, and it goes on, civil unrest. The U.S. Northern Command is basically under its continental security perimeter under General Reinhardt, taking over Mexico and Canada. The North American Army is now official. This out of the Ottawa Citizen. They're getting ready for World War III, folks. In fact, what did Fromm and Mr. L have to say about war in the cards, Lindsey?
Nothing except the Middle East. I was told that 5 months in advance there was going to be a conflict over there. I was not told what nation it would be in. We know now that it's Egypt, and that was just the beginning. I think the reason they didn't tell me where is because they could have picked any one of those nations over there to start the conflict, and that'll spread everywhere.
But Egypt's the key. It's the biggest. Okay, population-wise, one of the more wealthy compared to the others. Let's talk to Bill in Connecticut. Bill, you're on the air with Lindsey-Williams.
Yes. Hi, Alex.
Hey.
I'm just wondering, and you had briefly touched on this the other day, is, since we are the government, we the people, why are we standing for this? Why don't we just round these people up and try them for treason?
Well, I'm doing my best to get people to take the states back through the 10th and 9th Amendment and to educate people. As Thomas Jefferson said, educate the people in liberty and history, and corruption will van them like, phantom mist in the morning. And so I'm here doing the best I can. I mean, I can only cover the information. I've been arrested protesting. I get death threats. I'm doing pretty much the most I can. I mean, I'm 110%.
Understand, and I appreciate all you're doing, but it just seems like all of us are talking about this like it's all a foregone conclusion when, you look at what David Icke talks about, the pyramid. There's just a few at the top of this pyramid.
I know, but still, a lot of people are waking up, but still the majority are only care about Justin Bieber and Hollywood and things. Now, if we could get big Hollywood people to come out on this, we could use the globalist propaganda channel to backfire. That's very close to happening, but they're threatened, they're scared. But if people stop worrying about Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga, the general public is in a trance. They've given themselves over to delusion. Lindsey-Williams, comments.
It will be that way until it's too late, when they've finally gotten to the place that the grocery store prices doubled and tripled and quadrupled. The dollar begins to collapse. You're paying $7, $8 a gallon at the gas pump. By that time, they will basically have the population where they want them. Right now, there's still time to do something about it. It's because of programs like yours, Alex, and you've got a listening audience that is phenomenal, believe me. I've never seen the like of what happened as a result of yesterday's program.
And in the next little short segment, we're going to give out the number and website if folks want to pre-order the production that's coming out in the next few weeks. In the Middle East, the rest of the story, Lindsey Williams.